The message that changed everything at 10:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, a notification lit up my phone. It was from Belle. The note looked normal. She said she was staying at her cousin's house because she was tired. She told me not to stay awake. I sat there, staring at the screen. I typed, "Okay, sleep well." Everything seemed fine, but a cold feeling grew inside. It did not feel right. Earlier, she said she was too tired to wait for our own bed. Her cousin lives only 15 minutes away. Why stay there? I tried to push the thought away. I tried to watch TV, but my mind was spinning. 20 minutes later, I found my car keys. I wasn't being a spy. I just needed a quiet drive to clear my mind tonight. Hashtag finding the empty driveway. When I turned onto her cousin's street, my heart was thumping. I drove very slowly. The porch light was on, casting a yellow glow, but her silver SUV was not there. I drove around twice, but it was no use. The car was gone. My heart sank. I pulled over and called her. She picked up and sounded normal. She asked if everything was okay. I had a hard time swallowing. I told her I was just checking in. She let out a little laugh and reminded me she was at her cousin's house. But then I heard it. Behind her voice, there was soft music. I heard people talking and laughing in the background. It wasn't the sound of a quiet house. I asked her again, "Are you really sure you're at your cousin's?" There was a silent pause. Hashtag a map to the truth 2 seconds passed, but it felt like a long time. She said, "Of course I am," and asked why I was being strange. I apologized and hung up. I didn't go home. Instead, I parked my car and opened a location sharing app we used. It was a tool made to help families. I looked at the map. She wasn't at her cousin's. The blue showed an apartment complex 30 minutes away. I knew that place well. It belonged to a man named Carter Vaughn. Belle had talked about him before. He was a co-worker from her office. Lately, she had started sticking up for him whenever I mentioned his name. I drove there and waited. Hashtag the long wait for morning 10 minutes later. Belle walked out. She wasn't alone. Carter was right behind her. He was wearing a shirt she once told me looked silly on him. They stood on the sidewalk, close together, laughing and talking. They had no idea I was watching from the dark. I didn't scream. I just turned the key and drove home. I sat at our kitchen table in silence. I watched the moon move and waited for the sun to come up. At 7:12 a.m., the front door opened. Belle walked in, carrying her overnight bag. She gave me a nervous smile and said, "Morning." I didn't say hello. I just looked at her and asked, "How was it at your cousin's house?" Her face turned pale. She tried to act very normal. Hashtag choosing a new path. She said it was fine. I just nodded. I slid my phone across the table. I showed her the picture of her and Carter. She didn't move for a long time. Then she whispered, "You followed me?" I told her I went to her cousin's because I wanted to believe her. She started to cry and admitted she had been seeing Carter for 3 months. She said it was an accident. When I asked if she ever planned to tell me, she looked down. She said she didn't know how. I moved to a hotel that afternoon. Belle begged me to stay, saying she still loved me, but I left anyway. A week later, Carter called me. He tried to apologize. He said he thought Belle was unhappy. I told him he should have encouraged her to be honest. The divorce was finalized months later. I lost the part of me that trusts everyone, but I gained peace. Now, I am finally free, happy, and living my own best life today.